Okay, now I want to show you something called synthetic division. We're going to be working some of the same problems that we worked last time, but now we're going to do it in a slightly different way, and what I would call an easier way. It's called synthetic division, and it's something that's particularly helpful when you're just dividing by like 1z minus 4. Nothing too complicated by here, just regular binomial where it's just 1z down there in particular. Let me show you how to do it. So what it is synthetic division. It's the coefficients of this thing up here that you're dividing into, 1z squared, 2z minus 24. So write those numbers down like this. And then if you're dividing by z minus 4, put a positive 4 in this little box over here. And then let me show you what to do next, okay? The first thing you do is you bring down the 1. Whatever number is right here, you bring that down just like that, okay? Whatever's up here in the box, you multiply by that. 4 times 1 is 4. Then you add, 2 plus 4 is 6, and then you multiply. 4 times 6 rather is 24, and then you add those together and you get 0, all right? When you get through, you've already done the division now. This is the remainder, this is the constant, and this is the coefficient on x. In other words, your answer, when you divide z squared plus 2z minus 24 divided by z minus 4, your answer is 1z plus 6. That's your answer. This is called synthetic division. All right, let me go through it again with this other one because I know that was kind of fast on that one. And these are the same problems, by the way, that I did as examples last time. So we should get the same exact answers. All right, the difference is it's going to be a little bit faster than doing the long division with all the brackets and all that other stuff, okay? Let me show you again. So take the coefficients first and just write down the coefficients. 5x cubed minus 13x squared. Don't forget to put the minus signs if you got minus. Plus 10x minus 8. All right, so write down all the coefficients of that one. And then what do you put in the box over here? If you're dividing by x plus 5, put a negative 5 in the box. If you're dividing by x minus 2, put a positive 2 in the box, okay? So think of it as this is the opposite of this number right here. It's x minus whatever that number is. That's what you put in the box there, okay? All right, so what's the procedure for doing synthetic division? You first bring down the first number. Whatever that is, you bring it straight down like that. That's 5. And then you multiply this times what's in the box. 5 times 2 is 10. Negative 13, now you add. So it's multiply, add, and that's what I like about this method, is that multiplying and adding is easier than dividing and subtracting, in my opinion. So multiply, add, Negative 13 plus 10 is negative 3. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 10 plus negative 6 is positive 4. And 2 times 4 is 8. Negative 8 plus 8 is 0. So here's my answer. This is the remainder, this is the constant, this is x squared. My final answer is 5x squared minus 3x plus 4. That's the same answer that we got the last time whenever we were doing, where were those examples? Yeah, see when I did the same example with all this long division stuff, 5x squared minus 3x plus 4, that's the same example, the same answer that I get right here, but this is quite a bit easier. Synthetic division is quite a bit easier now that you've had a chance to get good at long division. Let's take the opportunity to do this. Let me do one more like this because I know it's kind of complicated with the first time you see it. So let me pick out one more example to do for you here out of this book. Like this. 3a to the 4th minus 6a cubed. Notice they don't have to be x's, right? Minus 2a squared plus a minus 6. And let's say all of that times a plus 1 to the negative 1. Remember how I showed you that last time? Okay. So first thing you say is times a plus 1 to the negative 1. That's the same thing as taking all of this divided by a plus 1, right? A plus 1 to the negative 1 is 1 over a plus 1. So it's the same thing as this, okay? So I have a division problem. And now I'm going to do it by synthetic division instead of long division, right? I could do the long division with all this part right here and this number right here, and then say what times that gives me that. I can do all that long division stuff. But I choose to do synthetic division. All right, because it's a plus 1, negative 1 goes in the box, so be careful with that. And now just get the coefficients here are 3, negative 6, negative 2, positive 1, negative 6. All right, so when I draw the line now, it's going to be just multiply, add, and all that after I bring the first one down. So 3a to the 4th, minus 6a cubed, minus 2a squared, plus 1a, minus 6. That's where these coefficients come from. Negative 1 is in the box because I'm dividing by a plus 1. So I bring down the first dude right here. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. Multiply those and now I add, and I get negative 9, right? Negative 6 plus negative 3 is negative 9. Negative 1 times negative 9 is positive 9. Add those two together. When you add unlike terms, you take the sign of a larger and subtract. So negative 2 plus 9 is 7. Negative 1 times 7 is negative 7. Add those two together. 1 plus negative 7 is negative 6. And then negative 1 times negative 6 is a positive 6. And so again, it just so happened that the remainder came out to be 0. Again, if the remainder would have been anything else, I would have put that over a plus 1, like I showed you before. But the remainder is 0, so that means this is my answer. That's x to the first, or in this case, this is constant, and then this is x to the first, or in this case, a to the first, a squared, a cubed. So my final answer is 3a cubed minus 9a squared plus 7a minus 6, no remainder. So when I divide 3a to the 4th and all that stuff by this, I get 3a cubed minus 9a squared plus 7a minus 6. All right? So try some of those. Synthetic division, the same problems that you worked with long division, page 237, but try 21 through 34 by synthetic division. And again, respond to me with questions if there's questions on this or if you want me to do some more of the examples.